excuse, so don't poke them or anything like that. They are good to go. If anybody is joining late, just not everybody needs to poke them or anything like that. I'm pretty sure they understand what's going on here. And I'm going to kick this off. Alright, let's... Or not. Hold on a second.
Hey, just so everybody knows, well, I'm going to go ahead and just stream this conversation. Just so if there are people out in the not here times but can tune in, they can hear it as well.
Streaming?
That is just me, though. Don't go crazy with everybody streaming it.
We want to be streaming this out of, like, to let anybody in the unit can look at it?
It's so that people who cannot attend the town hall can just get that information live. Beyond that, it's public information anyway, otherwise we wouldn't be having a town hall.
Yeah, but public is to the unit,
yeah,
not people outside the unit.
What are they going to do?
It's okay, Joe.
Okay, I was just wondering about it.
That's fine, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Alright, so, firstly, hello everyone. I want to welcome you all back from Winter Stand Down. And everyone here at the Fireworks Legion hopes you had an amazing holiday with your loved ones, family, and friends. For this town hall, I'd like to go over some topics about the community at large. And secondly, of course, this town hall will be recorded and a transcript will be made and uploaded for those who could not attend. In November, I made the crucial decision to shut down the ARC detachment, and frankly, it wasn't an easy decision. It has been something that I had created and worked on since the inception of this unit, and I'm still very proud of the members who were in it, and they did the best that they could. And as such, I'm happy to announce the introduction of ARC back into the 501st Legion. But there is a twist. We're also happy to announce expansion of the Airborne detachment into a company. With both these announcements, I'd like to hand it off to... let's see here. Hold on a second here. As I'm fumbling here. Anyways. With that, the 501st Legion, what I'm saying here is doing some massive expansion here with ARC coming back and the Airborne detachment going. And 2020 is going to be super awesome, alright? And for the explanation, I'd like to hand this off to Player in Lava to address all of you about this expansion with ARC and Acklay. So if you guys would take it.
Yeah, I'll let Acklay go first because there's more of the fun stuff right away.
Okay. It's quite a big deal, so please, people, bear with me. Simply put, at this time, Acklay will be splitting our current platoon detachment in half and forming up an Acklay 1, an Acklay 2, and an Acklay company staff. As of right now, the 2 squads within Acklay will stay how it is, as well as the additional platoon members will change up to that. We will still be performing the same roles we have, supporting Avalanche as the main element. We still intend on QRF, etc., as well as our normal pathfinding job and roles on that. Player, do you want to give a quick brief on the start of ARC?
Yeah, so, since the closure, we've kind of been actively working towards trying to figure out where, we can bring ARC back into the unit, as I think it is an important role that the unit has. Everybody likes having ARC in the unit. Everybody likes, having those positions, but we wanted to bring it back in a positive manner and in a situation that they are able to be best used for supporting the people that they are there to support. So doing so, we're bringing a new formed ARC program in. They'll be designated crate within Avalanche, integrated fully into the squad level. The plan for now is each squad will have 1 crate ARC trooper designated to their squad. So you may see, crate 1-1 attached with 1-1 in every operation, and so on and so forth through the platoons. These guys will be with your squads, doing your squad trainings, hanging out with your squad guys, learning with you, as well as going to their dedicated ARC trainings and learning how to be a more efficient trooper in the field, out of the field, and how to be a role model and a leader within the unit. And developing that program down the line is the goal of Avalanche, alongside Acklay in their expansion to a company-sized position to provide a more fun and entertaining experience for those people that want to go for it, as well as providing troopers in Avalanche the end goal of moving towards something that necessarily isn't just leadership positions, but something like ARC troopers to have pride in. And it's also for those squad members that are just long time standing squad members, to let them have something to go for and really push for something other than just leadership in Avalanche. Crisis, do you have anything on that?
Yeah, the focus will be around these ARC individuals, these crate troopers, being the 12th member of the squad. Their loyalties and their training and their focus and their base membership will be in the Avalanche squads. So 1-1 will have their guy, their ARC trooper, and best case scenarios, the 1-1 ARC trooper comes from 1-1. The 2-4 ARC trooper comes from 2-4. So you raised in your squad. One day you train hard enough and you're a good enough person, you're active enough in this community that you become your squad's ARC trooper. If leadership is not your cup of tea, you could focus on the combat trooper side of things.
Yeah, I'll pass it back up to Jay.
All right. PTSs, if player, lava, and command, if you guys would indulge these individuals with their with their stream of PTSs here, and I'll add in if need be as well. And player, I'll let you take charge of the PTSs.
Yeah, I'll do my best here. I believe Buck is first.
All right. I was just want to fill in. I just came in here. What's going on?
This meeting right here is essentially announcing the expansion of ARCs back into the 501st, as well as expansion of Acklay into a company. And this meeting is just general. If you have questions about what is going on with it, this is your open floor to ask questions to myself about the topic at hand presently, about these expansions. And then we're getting into other topics as well after this one.
All right.
And it's just a general giving you guys information and giving you guys a chance to ask questions about it as well. That way you guys are all in tune, whether or not you're a CR or a CT, that you're in tune with us for what we're doing for this new year in 2020.
Okay.
All right. And player, I'll give it. Yeah, Snivy.
Make sure you activate your mic, Snivy.
Yeah, you guys can talk. You don't have to type. Once your PTS is active.
Okay, Slime's not there, I guess. Weiss.
You said that crate would be a more leadership role, so is that going to be pushed up to past corporal and things like that? Like, how is that going to integrate with Avalanche exactly?
Okay, when I said leadership role, more of not necessarily leadership like corporals or anything like that. Leadership in the unit as a trooper. These are the guys. I think Odin's put it best when he explains it, as these are the guys on servers that are helping CRs get their kits and square them away, and kind of understand the basics, and be able to be a leader within the unit with not necessarily having to be in leadership billets. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah. Sorry, apologies.
No, you're good.
Yeah, all crate troopers in squads are troopers.
Okay.
Weepier.
2 questions. One, would the position of ARC be determined by a ARC kind of like detachment, kind of like what we have with medics, or would it be determined by the squad leader?
Crisis, you want to answer that one?
Yeah, sure. So for the beginning, how it was working, we talked about this with the Avalanche leadership and our company being here. But they're going to push forward kind of a list of people who they would recommend for ARC troopers, and then that list will come to player, myself, and Owen, and we will have interviews with these individuals. And based on the interview, we will appoint ARC troopers at the beginning. This interview will be based on, how active you are in the community and how, good of a person you are. Because that's our focus for the beginning. And then we'll start working towards combat roles, SOPs, stuff like that.
Thank you.
Your second question?
I forgot the second question.
Okay.
All right,
come back
so
around.
I'm going to go back to Snivy's here. So far, I'm going to read aloud for everybody. So is the ARC no longer its own separate detachment? Will these ARCs do ARC stuff in addition to their regular trooper duties, or are they basically just an additional member of the squad?
Yeah, I can answer that one. Currently, at this time, they are not going to be running as their own separate detachment. Like I said, they are fully integrated in the squads. They are part of the squad. There is a 12-man squad now. The 12th man is the ARC trooper. In later dates, after we've kind of had some time to do the SOPs and flesh out and make sure that, all of the positions are full and everything like that, there's a potential to be doing, ARC trooper style missions or objectives during platoon ops, but that'll be designated through company and platoon level, at that time. But the focus on this right now is integrating them fully into your squads, letting them be a 12th member, like I said, a Fire Force multiplier, and getting them involved in squad activities is their focus right now. Does answer question, Snivy?
We get Raytheon next.
When will this go into effect?
Now.
Okay, so we should be seeing crate ops like this weekend's operations, or?
Well, they're not going to be in the operations this weekend as we haven't selected any of them, but you'll start seeing the positions as well as Acklay positions on the roster, and Lava and myself and HQ Elements will be working towards filling those positions and making sure training's underway. But effectively immediately we're opening these positions. However, as far as in field, it'll be a little while before we start seeing them be active.
Yeah.
Presto.
I forgot to ask this during the Acklay meeting earlier, but will ARC troopers be integrated into Acklay at any point in the future?
We don't have any plans for that right now.
Okay.
Zorro.
Since ARC's been cleared up, this is closer to Acklay then. Will we be seeing on a Zeus side be a reintroduction of Monday having the Zeus for Acklay and ARC like we did in the past, or is it going to be fitted in on the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday timetables?
Yes, so as of right now, the Acklay 2 and 1 will still be resuming their normal 3 p.m. EST. However, they will use separate servers. It is my intent to have the Acklay 2 shift to potentially the Friday. However, it's very dependent on our members and our player base for that. Ideally, I would like to keep it to weekends, though.
Saren.
So, will the past ARC troopers that are still in the unit, will they get any sort of I don't know. I don't want to sound like a skip interview process, but maybe some sort of accommodation.
Well, with that, I'll talk on that really quickly. We have been tracking every single ARC trooper that has stayed in the unit, and if you put your hat in, as we had talked to every single one, and but if you have been active in this unit and you've been putting your best foot forward, as explained in the interviews, as in the conversations we had with them privately and everything like that. If you have been active in this unit and you've still been taking part and doing whatever, and I'm going to be really blunt here, if the individual hasn't been sitting just on their hands waiting for it, then they'll be able to have a better chance to put their hat back into the ring to get into the ARC detachment. So previous ARCs that have been doing things to contribute to the unit will have a slightly better chance of getting into it than somebody else out there, and that's my opinion. So we stick by the words that we gave the ARC troopers, that if you throw your hat in the ring, all you had to do was continue to be active and contribute to the unit. And we're standing by those words.
Yeah, a little bit more on that is, we're going to be going through a process to review and fill those slots. So we have all that information that battalions provided for us, as they've kept a pretty good record keeping on those members, and we'll be using that in our selection process.
York.
I just wanted to confirm. Will there be ARC troopers put into Acklay squads?
Have any plans for that at this time?
Loken.
This is a question more towards Acklay. So, are you initially just going to be staying as just 2 separate squads per platoon, or is it going to eventually expand out to 4 squads per platoon?
The idea is to stay as 2 squads at this current time to provide that solidification for the new platoons. However, ideally it is not to ever expand out to 4 squads. It would be at maximum 3.
Habibi.
Previously, in order to select ARC troopers, it was public for everybody to join in as long as they met the minimum requirements. So my question is, how different is the application process to joining the new ARC crate?
Currently, we're going to be going through. There's some acronym that we have. Odin, what is it again?
Advanced Recon Development.
Advanced Recon Development will be the program that you go through after we get you slotted in. Before that, there'll be the interview process through myself, Lava, Crisis, Odin, battalion if they want to be involved, of just going through and picking the right individuals, because from the beginning of this, we want to make sure we have the right people with the right mindsets going forward, because they will be, the future of this program, whether it fails or whether it, succeeds and continues to grow the way that we want it to. So there's not an A&S per se, as much as there is a selection process through a company right now to make sure that the people we're getting in there have the right mindset going forward.
It's not going to be the extravagant show that it used to be. Very private, very closed behind closed doors.
As well as we've briefed all of our platoon staff on the appropriate measures on how to recommend and assess those that are in their platoons for those positions.
That answers my question. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Essay.
Will ARC have the same roles in the sense of they have med perms and whatnot like they used to?
That'll all be kind of something we work on and develop those SOPs over time. Our intentions is to continue to allow them to be a fire force multiplier and be able to support those squads in an extra degree. However, not make them overbearingly more powerful than just any other trooper. We'll need to talk about and figure out the specifics through, our testing in ops and everything like that before I can tell you a for sure answer on that.
Hey, fair.
Squids.
In regards to Acklay becoming a company, does that mean that there will be more Acklay slots or no?
Eventually there will be a cycle opened up, but as of right now, no.
There'll be more slots in the future.
Yep.
Stones.
In regards to the Onyx program, one of the problems, well, not problems, but one of the things in the past was that the training for Onyx was very closed door, with the idea that they're going to be working as a force multiplier for the squad in lieu of taking a leadership position. Would their training be open to people in leadership positions within Avalanche and elsewhere to better understand what they do, as well as to implement their training into their own things as well?
I can get this one, if you want, player.
Yeah, go ahead.
So again, we're kind of starting with a blank slate with their SOPs. Myself, player Odin, have some plans for Onyx, crate trainings that will have separate to squad trainings. But we're starting with the bare bones basics, like what cadets and recruits do. Start from the ground up. But leadership like yourself, all the leadership in Avalanche will be involved in writing these SOPs. After your FTXs, your operations, during company meetings, we'll probably ask you, hey, how do our troopers do this week during squad trainings, during your FTX, during your operation? What could we do better? What could we change? Stuff like that. So everyone in leadership in Avalanche will be actively involved in designing these SOPs based on what is needed and what they need to have done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Neb.
Come back to me, please. I've got something
Okay.
come up.
Flux.
Now my question was answered.
Shrub.
Yes. About the other combat roles, do you mean stuff like heavy troopers, or is that just a vague term?
In the context of what ARC troopers can be.
Yes, that's what.
Like force multiplier and stuff like that.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I mean,
Hey,
we're
wake
not
up.
ever planning on currently having something as a heavy trooper per se, like specifically. However, having them carry a chain gun, say if we ever get a chain gun in the game or something like that, could potentially be something that we designate to an ARC trooper. But again, a lot of that is really going to be based on the training and development paths that we are utilizing going forward, and trying and figuring things out along the way.
An example being here, somebody can help me with this and speak openly. In the Clone Wars animated series, the ARC troopers that were involved in the 501st Legion on Umbara, it was Umbara, I believe. If you can recall, or you can look this up too at your leisure later, or now if you wish to, how the ARC troopers participated in that battle. Fives and Echoes and all that stuff. Even Rex can be included as well. I know he's not an ARC trooper, but how they moved around the battlefield, assisting, their fellow clones and everything like that, assisting them in ways because they're a fire force multiplier on the battlefield, utilizing weapons in a very proficient manner and taking some ass, but also being right in the roots with everybody else. And they're one of them 100% through and through. Having the ability to select individuals from the squads, and even again allowing other individuals on the outside to also participate as well, to better facilitate and foster a more family feel, instead of having potentially somebody you don't know on the outside, and even if it is somebody you guys still might know as well, you have somebody there that that works very well with you guys, or has worked well with you in the past, or you guys know that can those guys can work with you. That's what the ARC trooper should be, and will be utilized as. Rather than focusing on an entirely separate entity to do something entirely, the main focus is and always should be to support the entirety of the main infantry and the entire unit, rather than themselves first.
All right. Ned, are you ready to ask your question?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So for ARC, once it's more or less comfortably implemented into Avalanche, is it possible that we'll see it in some form within Zeta, or even as just something to try out within FunOps in general?
I think the Zeta comp, I can speak on that. No, I personally don't have any plans on extending it to Zeta at this time. But I'm not saying like for the future maybe, but presently right now no, because we want our troopers to have a very active role, and they might have their own reserve or something like that. But I don't think so in Zeta, as Zeta should be the stepping stone to go into Airborne and Avalanche in its entirety, rather than focusing on Zeta being another separate entity to have its own things. If you can catch what I'm saying there, Zeta Company is supposed to be a stepping stone, and we want those other things outside of there.
Right. I think to follow up on that, at least, will it just be those that do get selected? Will be there any variation to their uniforms, or will it more or less stay the same as it is?
I think that'll be along with SOPs to be determined when we start putting that through.
Gotcha.
Yeah. There was another half to your question, and I apologize. I don't recall what it was.
It was pretty much, if it's not being extended to Zeta, then it was just also following up, would it be possibly something to try out within FunOps, just as a, just fill it, just to kind of get used to it, just through personal experience, I guess.
I think that
or
would
if
be
it's
more
something that could be
suited for-
extended out, like if you wanted to just have it set up within your squad, within the op itself, I think that would be allowed.
Are you saying like they run as ARC Trooper, kind of like a qualification would?
Or
sorta,
like,
I
or
would
like,
assume.
hey, I have this guy in my squad. I want to try him out to do an ARC Trooper thing because I think he's good for it. Let him try out in this fun op with us.
Yeah, more or less
Kinda
like
thing.
that. Yeah, more like that.
I mean, regarding that question, I can be pretty open with it. There's not a mentality difference between somebody that is a trooper in a squad and an ARC Trooper that is just something you can let them try out. They're a good trooper in your squad, so they would make a good ARC Trooper, and they get additional training and additional support that way. It's not this guy's going to be able to carry a sniper rifle this op, so let's let him try to be an ARC Trooper. ARC Trooper is a mentality and an availability and a willingness to improve the unit. It's not a in-game thing that you can just try out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, in our ARC selection process, combat capabilities is like the bottom of our priority list.
And there's a reason for this too, and I'll talk about this too, is because, again, if you have a very positive person in the right place, the support and the care and the nurturing that you can give that individual, that person can become better combat-wise or anything in game if he has the support of everybody around him. If he gets in there and he's a great person and he's very helpful and he's just awesome inside of the squad and everything like that, and he gets into that ARC Trooper role because of that, that's what the squad needs. The combat roles and everything like that can be worked on, done if the squad is facilitating his training, giving him the tools that he needs to improve himself as an individual and as an ARC Trooper. And giving him that positive atmosphere, as I've said before, is going to again make him better combat wise and how to utilize himself within that squad. Because no matter what, if you're great combat-wise, you have to adjust to how the squad operates regardless. So that will come with time.
All right, Weiss.
Yeah, so with ARC being in a squad, are they going to be directly attached to the leadership? And also, how do you plan on implementing them into fun ops? Like, are they going to be allowed to do ARC things attached to whoever while they're in fun ops as well? Just a single person or whatnot? Does there have to be one?
That'll be announced at a later date.
Okay, and yeah, but the leadership themselves. Oh, right, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, as far as the leadership goes for ARC, we're starting from the bottom. There's not going to be any battalion ARC. There's not going to be any platoon. None of that as of yet. We're starting from the bottom and working our way up. Those who decide they're doing great in it will proceed and go further up based on evaluations on them.
So they'll be attached directly to an Alpha squad or a Bravo squad?
Yeah, yes. Each squad will have an individual ARC Trooper assigned to them.
Oh, okay, Lena, got you.
Yes, and then that will be done with player will be advising his platoon and everything like that, and you'll be able to see it on the roster as it goes through.
Okay.
To add on one thing, the ARC Troopers will be the ones that also go through the NCO courses too. So just like everybody else, medics, RTO standard, they go through it too, equally judged the same way.
Okay, Lima.
All right, Atlas.
How are outside applications handled, from Zeta, Airborne, etc.?
Zeta from Airborne at this current time is how it will be run still. So the idea would be a standard application, a ride-along process, and then a sign-off process. There would be a slight additional information passed from myself to, say, Sergeant Fancy or Sergeant Delta or Chief Mimir for the sign-off on that. So it's the same kind of transfer. It's just kind of a larger scale, I guess.
I meant specifically for ARC. Is there preference for Avalanche for these roles, or can Zeta apply and stuff like that?
For ARC, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Like I said from the beginning of this, it's primarily going to be I'm going to take a pass on the former ARC members, and not pass as I'm looking over them. I'm going to look over the document from battalion on their record keeping and pass over that stuff and look over it and take and pick and choose and maybe all of them. I don't know. We'll see. Interview those guys, and then I'm going to be talking to our platoon commanders and their recommendations and regarding whether or not there are still slots open or something, I guess, potentially we could be looking through Zeta. We'd probably be looking through Acklay before that, to be completely honest. The biggest thing is we want the most active guys, and the most active guys are currently slotted within our platoons, to be quite frank. And I want, the guys that have been active in our platoons and involving themselves in the community to have the opportunity to do these positions before picking up either a new guy that's in Zeta or a guy that's been in Zeta and just kind of been hanging out.
With the expansion of that too is going to open up slots in Avalanche, which then you can join. And then if they're not finding the right people in the things, they'll extend it open. It'll be progression, and allows individuals, and again the evaluation, putting it out there again. They're looking for individuals that have the right attitude and the right mindset to become an ARC trooper, and that's the most important part.
All right, ad hoc.
In regards to the new crate being a force multiplier, we're going to see the expansion to them of more exotic equipment, such as the shields, the chain guns, other rifles, and that. And additionally, are they going to be trained in more advanced tactics like HVT capture, sabotage, and other things like that?
You heard my dog. Gave you an answer.
Purple Ghost.
I'm just kidding with you. I think enough of you have played the game of Arma long enough to know advanced tactics and sabotage and HVT procurement are all things that are, learnable by anybody in the platoons, whether that be Acklay or that be Avalanche or Zeta. That's all stuff anybody can learn. Yes, we'll make it harder for them. Yes, we'll put them through a lot more of the training to make sure that that's drilled into them and all that stuff. Will they have, a potential for using other equipment and everything like that? We'll look into that as we develop SOPs for them. But I really want to focus, like I said, on the aspect of them being a supporting element for the platoons. And so whatever they need to support the platoons and the squads, they're going to be, prioritizing learning that rather than necessarily learning some specific thing, that sounds cool like an ARC trooper would get to do. But I'm sure there'll be fun things they get to do as well, like HVT, securement, and all that fun stuff.
Okay, yeah, just wanted to define what you meant by fuck, I just had the
possible
Fire
chain
force
gun that they could have.
multiplier.
force multiplier. Yes, thank you. I don't know why I blew it.
Yeah, like I said earlier, the SOPs are kind of a blank slate right now. We'll start with the bare bones basics, like just average troopers with just a different kit, maybe, and then we'll work from there with the squad needs, with the platoon needs, stuff like that, and then maybe we'll get up to the point of where they get chain guns or West Stars or whatever. But we're starting small.
Teacup is next.
So I know you mentioned that they might have some medical training or more advanced medical training at later dates, and the overall of the personality is key. As far as getting marksman quals, Zeus quals, different qualifications, is that something that is important as well? Or is that something that's being looked into as far as oh yes, you need RTO qual, you need this qual as well? Or is it just, hey, you need to be this type of person we're looking for at this time?
Basically, the way I'm going to answer this question is I'm not going to tell you exactly what we're looking for in ARC troopers because that defeats the purpose in us, having platoon commanders keep an eye on people and making sure that they're the right people we want. But I can tell you having all the qualifications, having advanced medical training, advanced RTO training, that kind of thing will never hurt your case.
Being in a C shop as well.
Yeah.
Understood.
Because again, they're looking for the most active people. There you go.
All right, Weepier is next.
Just out of respect out of everybody and their time, I suggest that we leave PT at the very end of the meeting. I don't know if you guys have different sections to still cover. So
different sections.
Yeah. Again, this is up to you, but highly to recommend that everybody just writes down their PTSs and leaves them for the end of the meeting.
Take that under advisement if it keeps going for longer.
Next is Hoodoo.
Oh, that's fine with me.
All right, back to Habibi.
Actually, no. That was my second question was answered. My first question is, as soon as I remember it.
All right, we'll come back to you.
Yep. You just come back to me after. I'll remember after the next person, I swear.
All right.
All right. Next up is Riddle.
No, Teacup pretty much asked the question I was going to answer about ARC.
Okay, Spartacus.
No, I'm
just to-
Spartacus.
Oh boy.
I'm already Tracer.
It's already been asked by someone else.
Okay.
I'm good to go, by the way.
Mister.
As it's been open for a long time, do we have a timetable on when we would get a battalion RT and a battalion medic?
To be determined. But I'm looking.
Okay.
Always looking. If you remember Monsters Inc., Mike Lazowski, I'm always watching. Put my
watching you,
just put my helmet in front of it. Alright, we had our fun. Alright, okay. Next one, really quick, Neb.
For once people have already been selected for ARC and have more or less passed the process, will it be considered as an MOS that you could run within FunOps, similar to AT or support, and just be determined, or like have the same way as Marksman, where you just had to get permission from Zeus or leading NCO, or is that going to be limited to mainly just platoon ops?
They would just be ARC troopers. That'd be their dedicated role. Just kind of like medics and R2s in a sense, but maybe a bit more strict. They'll be running alongside Avalanche squads, inside Avalanche squads. You know, in FunOps, they will not be detaching and running off and doing lone wolf things. They'll be members of fire team, stuff like that. Because again, we're starting very small, rolling up core principles. They will learn how to interact and understand what a Avalanche squad needs before we can have them doing different things.
All right. I think we'll take Habib and Raytheon, and then.
Sorry, Major. I discarded mine.
All right. Okay. Habib will take yours. Snivy, Anarchist, and Travis. If you would very kindly type those to me, I would greatly appreciate that, so we can get on to the next thing here. All right. So please send me a private message with those questions on there, and if anybody else does about this topic, please send that to me. So in the next Q&A, I can just like come out of the ring and just like throw those out at you guys, okay?
As well as, you know, if you have any questions about ARC stuff or Acklay 2, Lava and I are always available when we're in TeamSpeak, as well as we have HQ staffs for a reason to help either answer your questions or relay it to us to get back to you.
All right. With that, Barracks, go ahead and take the show with your two things you got, and do so.
Sure. Absolutely. Huh?
What?
I thought we were gonna do Habibis before.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's right.
I apologize,
Yeah.
Habib. Go ahead.
All good. All good.
I apologize.
I was gonna let him move on. It's all good.
No, I apologize.
So I always think input is valuable from every single like member, and you guys discussed how the ARC troopers will be someone to help and guide new members. Can or will the ARC troopers be also able to give input to the leadership selecting them to better see what they can do to expand themselves, as well as be able to expand other and future ARC troopers?
Are you saying the people like we select, will they have input into the people? Are you saying?
Yes, that's part of it, but like also as a whole, just like let's say for example, you decide that the way for an ARC trooper to help support a squad is only option A, B, and C, but the ARC trooper suggests option D to that. Will will their input be as valid as yours? Like, will they be able to give input?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no. By no means do I think I am perfect or all-knowing and infallible. And a large part of this, yeah, exactly. A large part of this is us learning with each other. I'm going to be helping, guide the vision, if you will, but the ARC troopers, just as much as I do, will be developing the program and shaping it towards where we want it to be in the Avalanche company.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Barracks, go ahead and take the floor, buddy.
Coolio. Awesome. Thank you. So for you guys today, I have a document for all of you guys to see. After many months of work, an amazing individual in here, I shall call him out. CP Pro, you can also send him private messages of your love and grace, has created a document after at least, I think, about 10 months of work and rigorous time, a document that we're happy to announce called the Trooper Handbook. I'll post it for you guys all to see now. This handbook that you guys all see is going to help all of you in this unit who are recruits, cadets, troopers, and even NCOs who need some memory on a perfect guide on how to become a trooper in our unit, essentially. I'll also post this in the announcements and pin it for you guys all to see. This is extremely comprehensive. It goes into very fine detail of every tactics, procedures, how to do key binds, you name it. If you need to know something, this handbook will be your best friend. You know, to the CRs and CRCs and troopers or people who may forget, even NCOs, I forget myself too. I look at this handbook and I go, oh yeah, this is a great tool to use. So for all of you guys here, please give a big, thank you to CP Pro for working on this for such a long time. It's an awesome document, and after 10 months of work, it's finally done. Again, I'll post it, and please use this as your journey through the 501st Legion. Always remember, when we make these handbooks, guys, there's always information in there that will help you on your journey forward. And stuff like this is something I wish I had when I was a trooper, and we're lucky to give that to you guys today. So that is the first thing. And the second thing for you guys is an awesome new thing from the C Shop. I have some news from Captain Cruzy, is we will be opening up an entirely new C Shop section called Event Management. Now you may wonder, what is this event management? This system is going to be run by an individual, and there's be some stuff for Discord done, where they will be hosting events for the 501st Legion in organized ways for how we do events. So for example, you've seen many times people would like to do World War II ops, maybe Mass Effect ops. This system will allow people who want to make those really cool custom different things from the 501st Legion to go through the event management system and plan huge events for our unit. So, and this is going to be great for the news team too, if they want to come and cover some cool things to intersect with each other, that you guys may have some cool ideas. I've had troopers message me and say, hey, Varix, I've, have this op I want to do, or I want to put all this stuff on the server. I want to go and do this really cool World War II campaign and do all this stuff. Event management is for you. You want to do a Mass Effect campaign? I will be working with you side by side. I love Mass Effect. But that's essentially it. It's event management, and it's going to be helping us out throughout the coming years for the 501st Legion. So it's going to be awesome. And if you guys have any PTSs about those two things, feel free to post in chat about these systems or anything like that. We can definitely answer your guys' questions. So yeah, that's going to be awesome. And for the event management system, how that's going to come out, it's going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks, and it will be announced who will be leading it very soon and all that. So if that's it, Raytheon, go for it.
Will these events include eventually, I know it's kind of iffy because I ran one in the past, checkpoints RP?
They can include those. It can be a various. It's the idea is that for checkpoints RP, we still want to give those relative ideas for allowing Zeus's, depending on the Zeus department, to go for it. Over time, though, we're going to be seeing to make sure we get out those fine details on how it's going to work with the event management system. So at this time, it's going to be a TBD. But personally, like those kind of ideas are pretty cool that we look forward to doing. So has that answered your question?
Yes.
Coolio. Let's go to September. Will you remember? Go for it.
Thank you. Yes, I will. Regarding the event management and the servers and mods, will you guys set a kind of a limit to for example how many mods it takes, map limitations and stuff like that? And will there be an own server for this?
So for the mods, and depending on what the event manager is going to be doing, they will have a list of what's going to be required for those people who want to submit their operations. So if you think of it like this, somebody wants to do some really cool campaign thing, they submit it to event management, they say, here's how many mods it's going to be, we want to use this server for it, which is one of our 501st servers, and then they take that into the C Shop command and they decide how they're going to do it. So depending on the operation, yes, but it has to go through approvals first. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Awesome. Let's go with Yoa.
So is the trooper handbook going to be posted in the new plus returning members section where they have like the rules, the roster, and the uniform guide and stuff? or in like other important locations, stuff
It's-
like in the Discord?
Yeah, it's going to be posted. I'm going to have it posted in 3 different areas. For sure, I'm going to have it in announcements, and I will definitely have it in area. I think maybe unit chat. So just areas that troopers are, they generally talk in. I think those are 2 good areas. And also maybe in Zeta, be there too.
And it also really help if you pass this along yourself. If you know somebody that might need it or might benefit from it, take it, and instead of going like, oh, you can find it over here, just have your own link of it, and just be like, here, man, you might need this, man, or if you know somebody who does, just pass it around. That'll be a lot more. It's a lot more crucial if that's happening more often than individuals trying to find it themselves. So if we all, see somebody or we know somebody who might benefit from it, just give them the document, send it to them. Or we get it out there for individuals to read, the better this document can be utilized and used. Benefit from it.
Absolutely. I'm gonna let does that answer your question, by the way?
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm gonna let Pro speak on something because he was the one that came up when we're working on these systems. So go for it, Pro.
That's one thing I just want to kind of touch on is this is all being made for like a UTC orientated. So yes, I know there's some CRs in here. You guys just shh, it's a secret. Keep this like to yourselves. It is more for the CRCs and troopers and up, etc. But if CRs do come across it, then that's fair enough. The reason why is because when going through UTC, we give CRs a blank handbook, which they need to actually put in the effort and put in the work. Once these guys actually have gone through UTC and have basically gone through it all, we'll give them this copy, which has got all the facts in it. So it is going to be made public, it is going to be accessible, but I'd say hold off actually handing this out to every CR you see. Just bear in mind that, but no, it will be accessible.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's go to CT Indy. Go for it, man.
My question was answered.
Awesome. Let's go to CP Weiss.
My question was answered by September.
I love this. This is great. CT Barbary. Let me guess, has your question been answered? I'm just kidding.
You're not gonna shut me up that easy, Verax.
Go for it.
All right. Well, my question is in regards to the event, to this new event team. There are many people in the unit, including one of the members of Minoc, who have gone out of their way to make many very good side ops that they, plan and execute on their own servers on their own time. My question is, from here on out, is it going to be that if you want to run a special operation like World War II or Modern, whatever, you will have to get approval from this team, even if you're using your own resources? Or if you're doing your own if you're using your own server, then you don't have to go through the team?
That's a good question. Actually, so for that right now, it's to be determined because we still need to flesh out more of how we're going to have the event management system do with the current things that people have been requesting to the unit. So right now, I would hold off on. I can't really answer that at the moment until we filter it out. But over time, we'll be able to give you more concrete answers on that.
Understood. Thank you.
If I can, real quick, Barracks. The idea behind the events team, the way it was proposed, was to help enable events get, more popularized and publicized, not hinder people from doing events that they're doing with their friends.
Yeah. That's agreed. We still want you guys to have fun and play with your friends. It's just we're just trying to push up all those awesome events coming up. So
if I may. If I may.
Yeah, go for it.
The way it was always told to me whenever this was coming up is it's pretty cut and dry. The idea behind the event manager is to provide official support to these people that are wanting to do these things. It's not necessarily you have to go through the event manager, but it's more of if you want to go through the event manager, you can have more official support in terms of things like server and things like that. Again, Varric said this is to be determined, but that's the general idea behind it.
All right, then.
More to come. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yep.
All right, cool. Let's go down to Loken. So Loken, you'll be the last. Mister, go for it.
Scrolling through the handbook reminded me something sort of unrelated. I heard there's testing with the new ACE medical system. Where is that testing, and is there any decision if we're going to switch to that new one yet?
Shade, do you have something to say about it?
They'd actually answer the
Well,
question,
seeing
please.
as I'm actually the one in kind of at least in
Are
the head
you?
of the guys that really, well, yeah, seeing as the one that's actually in the head of the guys actually that's going to matter to. Yeah, I am. So when it comes down to the Ace Medical, we're not going to be using it for a long time. Reason why is because when it comes down to putting it into swap, it's going to need a compat, number one. Number two, we're not really ready for this, like the settings that we need. We don't have them yet. Code is the main component of actually finding these settings and thinking, like trying to get a good balance of what is good for both the medics and good for the troopers for you guys. In my mind, personally, it's a lot better of a system. I think it's better, but that's me. As for the testing and whatnot, you come talk to any of the medics, like myself, Coda, or any of us. We do like these little like fun ops for ourselves every once in a while, and we typically put that mod on there and whatnot, and we do quote unquote testing with it to see, you know, what happens just in a firefight, what's going to happen, like what supplies are needed and that sort of stuff. If you guys want, we'll start putting out little like announcement things saying, hey, you know, we're playing with the new Ace mod. If you guys want to come join, you can go and do so.
Dad, to be clear, this doc will always be updated, by the way. It won't be out of date. So as time goes on, if those things come in, we'll be able to do that. Does that answer your question, mister?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Let's go to Snivy.
Will the events management team be handling fun ops campaigns as well?
No.
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 If you want them to be publicized and stuff like that, you know, you like.
If you go
hey,
to the yeah.
Yeah. If you want the publicity of it, sure. But if you're doing it in a fun op, you know, then you're doing it in a fun op. But if you want the publicity of it to get it out there to more people, then you know, definitely exploit the guys to get it publicized a bit more or something.
Again, like Player said, it's kind of like an avenue to popularize your events as well. So
yeah,
that's the biggest way. Okay, is that your question?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. And then it goes to, is it Indy? No. I'm sorry, never mind. Tough, is that next?
So, you guys said that this is only going to be, the handbook is only going to be for like CRCs and up because it's something they get given at the end of UTC. So I'm assuming it's not going to be placed anywhere publicly, but in the same reality, I think it's a great handbook and it should be, you know, distributed to the entire battalion. So how is that going to happen if it's not somewhere?
If I may.
Yeah, go for it, Crow.
So, as I was saying, basically, it's going to be public. It's going to be in TeamSpeak and Discord. We're not going to be hiding it, per se. If a CR does come along and finds it, then that's fair enough. They can find the secrets it holds. But it's not something you guys should be trying to give out, like recruitment, when you're recruiting new people into the unit or giving them in fun ops and stuff. Kinda, if you can, obviously not hand it out because it's something we want to make them like work towards in UTC and then give them this at the end. But if they find it, they find it. There's not much we can do.
Yeah, just to be clear, for everyone to understand, this is not like only for CR season up. It's more relevant to those who completed UTC. So even if a CR has it, I mean, that's fine. It's public information. But for those who completed UTC, it's a guide to help you. That's just the genuine idea. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know you guys said don't give it out, but I can give it to like my squad. That's
No,
okay, right?
you should. No, listen,
Of course,
that's fine.
yeah.
Yeah. I posted in the channel for a reason. So go for it. You can give it to anybody here. All right. Okay. Let's go. Last one is Logan. Go for it.
All right. So this might sound like we're still beating the dead camel, but so it's not going to act like how the U.S. Army has the Blue Book or the Warrior Level 1 handbook for the Trooper handbook. This is supposed to be more of a supplemental guide for everything built on CTC and UTC. Then.
Exactly.
Yeah. Go for it, bro.
Sorry. Exactly, yeah. So it's, in all honesty, a lot of this information has been taken from UTC and a few other bits and bobs. For example, the firefight section has been taken from other sections within like leadership and stuff like that to give everyone the experiences, the information that everyone needs as a trooper. It's not something where it's going to be specific to Avalanche, Acklay, Minoc. It is just the bare bone basics of how to do things such as map and compass, how to CQC and stuff like that. And then everyone else's SOPs will cover the rest.
Yeah, and to add on to that, there are other cool things in there that, like we permitted from BLC, the basic leadership course, and we put it into the handbook saying like, you know, if you're a trooper and you're like, hey man, I really don't know how to be a team leader, you can ask your friends to understand. But if you want something concrete and written down, some people are like visual learners as well. You can go read the firefight section, and we give you the basic fundamentals of here's how you do it, so you don't feel like you're scared. Because I was a CRC once, I was a CR once, and I was scared of team lead, and a guide like this would really help me out to know like, hey, here's how to do it right, here's the proper way. So hope that answers your questions, Loken.
So like a soldier's blue book.
Okay, that answers my questions.
Awesome. Okay, I think everything. Great. Okay, so that's pretty much it for me, guys. I appreciate it. I'll post those things ASAP after the town hall. And thank you guys, and hopefully have a great new year. Jay, it's back to you.
Yeah, go away, Varix.
Lamau.
Jay, say hi to our fresh meat.
Hi, hello, new bull in here, Lewis and Zicator. Yes, hello, hi, welcome, everybody, welcome them.
Hello.
Welcome to Purgatory. First welcomes you.
Yes, welcome.
Welcome to
and-
Purgatory.
Alright, PTS.
Great.
All right,
PTS.
back to it.
Konnichiwa.
Welcome. All right. All right. Thank you guys for the questions with Q&A, and I'll finish off this meeting by talking about the technical side of the 501st and how we plan to expand logistically. Patreon is a huge part of this community, huge, and the continued contribution that everyone does to keep this unit alive. And through the support from you guys, we have funds for the next year for the servers and the TeamSpeak, so we can keep these all up and alive and running with the current with the stuff that we have, which is fucking awesome. I love it. And I'd like to also apologize to the $100 Patreon supporters here that have the lack of giving you your refrigerator quality coolers. This is something I am going to rectify before the end of January, and I'll be getting with each and every single one of you individuals via email, so this can be done. And I expect to see these posted in the 501st Community Glory on your refrigerators when you receive them. Yes, thank you, player. And now the juicy part. The real juicy part here. That's never really talked about or heard about here. The previous box. The previous box, the one that we actually have now, cost $1,500 to make round. And some of these things that we had, the reason we bought this box is so that we didn't have to pay upwards of $400 to $500 a month for our needs for this community. And instead, we're paying $65 a month for the team's website, and Uplink right now with the co-location, they've actually raised their prices due to having new, better internet speed, and I don't know, they've raised their prices from we were paying $115 a month, now we're paying $150 a month for their services, but we get better internet, and we got, like, even though we don't need it, we have more download capability, more data usage now, which we're never going to cap out on that, so it's just automatic with their payment stuff. So we're paying a little over $200 a month for what we have here, which is fucking awesome. Adding my little bit into here, this box that we presently have, you're trying to rent something like it out there, you're going to be spending upwards of what was it, like almost $1,000 a month for what we have a month, and that's absolutely egregious, terrible. Yeah, but we had to take these steps to work with our growing community, and now that we have expansion once more, I'm proposing a plan that we build another dedicated box that will be up hopefully in 2021. My plans are to personally revamp the dedicated box by enhancing the CPU, as well as the RAM and the storage capacity. Since the last box was again $2,500, the next one. And the amounts that I'm projecting for, unless we can get some cool sales or something like that, is going to be upwards of $6,000 to $7,000 to build. To make sure that we have the best CPU, RAM, and drives just possible. And with all the money we're spending on the new box, we will make sure that we keep you up to date with the new box and its assembly, just like we did the last one. We posted pictures of getting the boxes, posted the pictures of the internals and everything like that of what it is, and we're going to do the exact same thing with it and keep you guys in the step. Everybody from CR to to player and everybody 100% involved in announcements with it, every step of the way. With these changes, we will see better performance on the servers, hopefully. And we should. We very much should by increasing the clock speed on the CPUs and stuff like that. This will also mean that we were pushing limitations of Arma 3. We thought we were doing it beforehand. Personally, I'm not convinced that the box is doing it like we had perceived beforehand. And I want to be clear that after we obtain this box, that the problems we run are going to be limitations of Arma alone and not the box that we have. We also want to host servers on the outside of Arma 3, such as Postscriptum that you guys see above that we have. It's actually not presently up at the moment. We had some 101st guys jump in, just randomly find the server and start playing on it. It was an awesome experience to jump in and play with some of those guys. And we fought against them, and we shot them, we killed each other. It was super fun. Postscriptum, Minecraft, and any others that we can offer to this community with the box. If we want a Community 501st server for Minecraft, we want a community base engineers. The Isle, which might have this huge update that's coming up.
Oh yeah.
Other games. If I want to make servers like that, I want to be able to do it, but I want to make sure that we have the best possible machine for that. And as I said before, we will be pushing Arma to its limits for the betterment of this community because we have to. We're playing Star Wars. If we're not pushing the limits, then I don't know what else we should be doing. And as such, I'll be looking towards new projects and expanding the community outside of the Arma 3 with the servers. So we continue to grow and foster an environment of safe play, and, good friends, and continuing to offer home to this family that we've created for the past 2 years. Oh boy.
If any of you call me Grandpa, I'll kill you.
Yes, Sergeant Major Plumley. Now here. All right, so this is what I'm super psyched about, and I want to get as many people involved in this as it is. If you want to support this, Player had posted the Patreon here, and if you want to get involved with it, please do that. Website, and you can donate there. You don't have to do it now. Whenever you have time. People who know me, I'm not huge on I want your money or anything like that. I've never been about that. When we get to it, we get to it. And as long as you guys are having fun, that's the biggest thing here. All right. Questions. Can I do questions? Should I do questions? I think I can.
Between topics, yeah.
Yeah, Zoro, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
This kind of falls into a different category, but you mentioned space engineers. My brain just instantly went, would we ever consider bringing big cruiser fights into Galactic Campaign and being that introduce space engineers being a part of the story around in that department? Has that ever been considered?
No, and it could be something we look into, but that's something that people have to buy the game for, and we want to kind of try to avoid that. Tabletop is pretty much the expenditure on that alone, man, and not even everybody in the story writers team has that to do things with it. And we're always trying to find better and cool ways to do things, but we're trying to keep it, Arma. If we want to have cool space battles and space engineers, I think for this foreseeable future, it would have to be something separate rather than on the Galactic Campaign side. That way we include as many people as possible. Mister, go ahead.
So on related to Patreon, I was wondering if it would sort of be getting almost a revamp because the last post is a year and a half old.
Yes.
So I was wondering if not, the page itself is going to become more active, if the tiers were going to change as well.
That is subject to change at the moment because I've been really busy with everything that's been going on here, and I have to if I can get back in the moment again and everything's running smoothly, I'll be able to start going back to Patreon and posting things there. And as far as the tiers changing, I want to make sure they're kept simple and everything like that. So I don't think that they'll be changing because one of the huge things with Arma is that I cannot offer anything, and I don't want it to be like Gary's mod where you pay for something like that. It's more out of the generousness of your heart. But for some of those people that do pay a little bit more, I do want to be able to do something for them because again, I have been neglecting for quite a few months to get the things out for the $100 guys and some of the other people as well, just with how busy I am. And if I tack on more things to give to people, I'm not going to be able to make anything for anybody. So I have to kind of put that up higher, and I apologize for it, but that's something I do have to do. So hopefully if things run smoothly in this unit and everything goes okay, and I can sit back, then I can start really pumping into Patreon more, and I want to be able to. Because that's, with one thing that I do here is I want to make sure money's safe and everything like that. And, if you have access to the Patreon page and you have access to the money that can come through there, and I want to make sure that nobody does anything with that. I want you guys to know that the money's safe, that the posts are being done, but it also is me also neglecting the page because I'm busy with other things, working with story writers, developing other things in the background, and handling issues at hand. But yeah, definitely I'm going to try to start getting that Patreon page back up to date.
Favor.
On that, real quick, Skip.
Yeah.
Fellas, I'll put it in. I'll break it down Barney style because that's literally how I work. You want to donate? This isn't Gary's mod. This isn't anything like that. Whatever the case may be. We don't pay ourselves. No one here gets paid, unless there's some secret enclave that I don't know about that gets paid. I've never gotten paid. Skipper doesn't get paid. Captain Scuba doesn't get paid. Lieutenant Player, Lava, Crisis Point, none of us get paid. Everything you put into this unit goes into making this unit better. Into funding projects or research or servers or anything. So, strapping all of the weird-ass phrasing off of it, give money if you like where you are. If you don't want to or if you can't, there's no shame to it. But this place runs based on those donations. If I have to put money into the server, then yeah, if everyone stops donating, you bet I'll put 100 some odd, whatever the hell I have to. I won't mortgage my house based on it, obviously, but everyone here cares enough to be able to put enough money in to help progress further. There's only so much we can do with personal funds, that's why we need donations. Patreon aspect, whatever the case may be. Again, as the Major pointed out, it's not Gary's mod, so you're not going to donate and get much of, a fancy thing. If you donate $1,000, we can talk about Purge Troopers. Kidding, obviously. But you guys get what it is, so keep that in mind. I know plenty of you have donated, and I know plenty of you will probably keep doing so because of the fact that you get to stay here and everyone gets to be a part of this community. And we've done very well thus far with the donations we've had. No money goes to waste, and no money buys me pizza or alcohol, unfortunately. And it doesn't buy Jay tomahawks, and it doesn't buy Scuba foreign interventions, anything of the sort. So, make sure you guys understand that.
Ad hoc. Go ahead.
So with the power of these new boxes, we might be able to do something like, say, a tie-in Arma-based campaign for Elite Dangerous. Potentially? Yes, no?
Oh wait, okay. I know what Elite Dangerous is. I don't like
a tie-in based campaign in Elite Dangerous? What?
Yeah, that's why I got lost in that.
I think it's going off of pretty much similar to what the other person suggested as tying Space Engineers to the Galactic campaign.
Oh.
He's insinuating that the utilization of that game would then be correlating to our space battles, because Elite Dangerous is the fancy fly-around game where they blow up like your wing and you spin out of, fly into space for an hour and a half. No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, the same thing. The same thing with the Space Engineers thing is potentially way later, but again, it's going to be about how many people can I include in that, and then if it's only a certain amount of people that can be included in that. For me personally, I don't think it's I have the game. I have both those games, but not everybody has those games, and I want to be able to include as many people as humanly possible in those decisions.
Right,
and not have them. Yeah.
Yeah, and also Elite Dangerous isn't Star Wars. Literally nothing about it's Star Wars.
Okay,
September, I'm gonna but I appreciate it. It's a good question though. Go ahead, September.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. With the new boxes, would it be considered to expand the size of the current Arma servers for, let's say, multiple platoons at once in one server?
Not possible.
Presently, no, because we want to be able to have fun with it, and I'll talk about this here too. When we have these TCW changes that are supposed to be, experiencing and having fun with those, and they're supposed to lighten the load and everything like that, I think the last thing we want to do is pile in more people onto the server that just negated the positive effects we just introduced, for instance, right? So when TCW comes around the corner and we have better assets that are, lower polys and better frames and everything like that, the last thing we would want to do is just pack more people in just to get rid of those benefits because there's more people. We want to make sure that we have the best possible frame rate per platoon that is on the server that's possible. And we're adding a couple more ARC troopers, but we're still under the mindset, ARC was still kind of there and adding them in and stuff like that, so that's still in the numbers of what we expect on the servers. But when these new things are coming in, and if we get better service and we get better performance, the last thing I would ever want to do is take that right away. Because, you might play with an op, with a platoon, and you have, they just might have really good, connection, and there's not a lot of desync or something like that. And then we change it and go, well, first and second platoon are having an op together from now on, and that's just how it is. And it's like, well, we just took it all away from you. You know what I'm saying? That's the last thing I ever want to do. Especially
the
if
best
I
you're
jump
gonna
on the
get
server, I want to make
with
sure I have the
Arma
most.
is that.
Yeah. Plus, the only things that do make that possible is as close to vanilla Arma 3 as possible, which you might be looking at the UK Arma 3 Life servers and stuff like that, which is upwards of 200 people in those. They can really only sustain that because they have minimal mods, and it's as close to Arma 3 as possible, and they have really good servers to run those things, and that's how they get away with it. But even then, if you've ever played on those with 200 people, it's fucking, it still gets it gets really bad. So even if
They
we
also
could,
don't fight AI.
yeah, so they can't, so that's not something that we could feasibly do.
Yeah, you guys got to remember
Yeah.
the best you're going to get with Arma in our regard because of our size is you're going to get a full platoon and supporting assets, whether that be aviation, airborne, at that point, ARC, Minoc, etc. Vehicles that we have to utilize, vehicles the enemy utilizes, the AI that are there presently. I mean, it's the limitations of Arma. What we can do is enhance what we already have, be able to make it so that there's no issue in terms of it, and try to maximize what we can put on the field. But 2 platoons to a server, that's a very big stretch. I mean, with no AI or anything else, maybe, but probably never. At least that's my understanding. Am I incorrect, Skip?
I think you're hitting it I think as close as you could possibly can.
All right. So yeah, guys. I mean,
yeah,
would it be awesome to have 2 platoons rather on the server and operating separately? Yeah, it'd be great. But welcome to Arma. Maybe Arma 4.
Hopefully.
But yeah, it doesn't work like that. We
All
can't
right.
do that.
Anarchist, go ahead, man. Get on to something else too. Yes.
I was muted. My apologies. With the idea of a second server being created, would that mean more servers would be open, or would we perhaps close the first one to then open up for the other games like you mentioned?
If we have the new box that comes in, I would very much like to, again, with it being so expensive, being, again, I'm upwards projecting around $8,000 or so, I'd very much like to take the old box down. And I don't have any plans for that. I'd probably just sit on it and have it as a backup for the community if anything were to happen to our present box, such as something goes down on it or something catastrophic happens or something. I'd rather keep a hold of it because it does cost money, around $150 in there. And the last thing I want to do is to. It's not the last thing I want to do, but if I put the other box in there, depending upon what it is, that's almost $300. That's almost $400 a month to have 2 boxes in there. And I'll be honest right now, I can say this, is that Patreon, other than a couple of donations, and there's been some high guys that, they've been donating a little bit of there, Patreon has been almost 95% of our sole income for a while. Now, again, there has been guys posting $5, $20. There's a guy that posts $100 or so here or there. But through late 2018 into now, Patreon has been almost our sole income completely. We've, into 2017 was a huge amount of income as far as donations going. Beginning of 2018 was great. mid 2018, we had that one guy that ended up donating that $1,000 that we ended up putting into it. I saved some of that and used it to, put it in the back burner so we could continue to pay for the servers for the next couple months or so. Well, the big spending that we had in to get for the mod team, and then through the middle of 2018 towards the end, it's just we were like great, and then we plateaued into but again, there are those spotty guys, and those guys are awesome that they do, but again, Patreon has also seen a steady decline from almost $780 in around early almost $800 or so towards the beginning of 2018 to we low capped it $430 towards the middle of late 2018, and then we went back up to 313, 320 something now. So financially wise, I cannot consciously say we can have both servers in a thing, because we cannot sustain that. Yes, we could, but that means we would have I like to have cushions, and I like to have safety nets, and our safety net now is over a year's worth of funds that can pay for the servers outright, and I like to keep it that way. I like to make sure that we can have something sustainable, and we know it's going to be there for a year, and that's the big focus for me. And if I pull in that other server and it's going to cost almost $400 or so, then we're going to take that and significantly cut it in half, and then when we get to the end of the road with the money, it's going to be like, we need people to donate. I never want to be in that situation to beg and ask for money to keep the community going. I never want to be there. So, and that's just me being outright. I never really talk about money, but that's just me explaining my reasoning to all of you guys and let you know where my mindset is on that. Because I want to make sure this place stays where it's at. But hopefully the new box, because of the amount that it will cost, hopefully it'll just be better just to have that one box rather than having both of them up at the same time. That we can do everything we need to on the second box, and it'll run even better. So I want to be able to keep it like that. Yeah, I went off on a tangent, but I wanted to make sure I went full circle with it to explain everything to everybody, to make sure you guys know where my mindset is at. Spartacus, go ahead.
Just curious, but do we have like an ETA on New Box?
No.
Fair enough.
No.
Fair enough.
No, I have none. When we get donations and everything like that, and I have enough to get, hopefully we can have it completed by 2021 and use it 2021. But as far as putting it together and everything like that, if I do my crunching right, we should get it by 2021. Last year we didn't get too much, so hopefully it'd be in 2021. We need to up the donations by 2021 because of the decrease that we've seen, but we should definitely be able to do it if we more raffles and more people contribute. But yeah, Logan, go ahead.
Out of curiosity, how much is the new box expected to cost?
$8,000.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's me looking at things now. Our present box is dual CPUs. We have 2 CPUs in there. We have 10 cores, 20 threads, 128 gigabytes of RAM, and we have we actually have 4 terabits, but they're dual whatever, so they're double saved or whatever. So we have backup files in case one drive fails. I don't remember what the technical term for that is. Somebody can type that or something like that.
Insert technical term here.
RAID. Yeah, they're RAID. Thank you so much. I forgot the thing of that. Yeah. So there's all that fun stuff. So we have extra room. I want to be able to expand that room. So if we have other servers like Space Engineers, we can have a bunch of mods or something like that, and have a bunch of it and continue to do RAID and all that kind of stuff, and have better performance with CPU, because the CPUs we have were the best thing we could for the money that we had at the time, and we made do. And now it's like I want to go all out and make sure we have best possible core, best possible clock count, cores, and as much as we can get it. If we can afford it, then we can do it. And with co-location, putting it into a place, I'm not paying because I have this huge monstrous box. I'm paying for putting it into a 1U or 2U slot, which isn't all that bad. And with the place that we're at, we have a 50% off monthly thing for life. So we're already getting a great deal on top of it. So it's even less money out of our bits. We would be paying upwards of almost $300 for the stuff that we have now, but we get 50% off. So paying only around 150 or so now, which I think that's freaking awesome right now. And I'll continue to the company and stuff that we're with because of that. Riddle, go ahead. Or wait, no, it was Hobnob. I'm sorry. I'm gonna take Riddles, and I'm gonna have to move on to the next one because we've been in here for over an hour.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we've been here for over an hour.
Well, what I was gonna ask you there, Jay, is if the donations come in quickly and people donate big to get the new box up, how fast would it take to actually put the box together itself?
Honestly, we'd if we get the funds in that we need to. For instance, here I'm going to give an example. If, say, over the course of the next 6 months or the next 5 months, we're amped up and we're really excited about doing this thing, we get the money in that we need to. And we get around the 8 grand, and we're going to doing the projection, and we're and how hardware is constantly changing, what's good or whatever like that. And if we can find a deal or something like that, we're gonna make sure that we can get the best thing possible. So, for instance, if we spend the 8 grand, or maybe even we get 10 grand or something like that, we're gonna make sure we get all the pieces together, shipping in it, and then there's gonna have to be some testing done with it, as far as like just making sure it turns on okay, letting it run for a little bit, and just making sure we get all of the server stuff put onto the box before we even get it into the data center and all that fancy stuff, which we'll do. Make sure when we sit it in the data center, it's ready to go off the box. And then from that point, the last box, I think it was 4 months, right? It was 4 months to acquire the funds when we did huge pushes, which was awesome. It was amazing to raise the $2,500 and a little bit more for that. Just in that really short time span. And then we ordered the parts. We flunked up on something, had to return one of the CPU, return one of the towers. My bad, I'm sorry. We had to turn one of the towers and get a new, we had to get something new because even though we're working on it and everything like that, we did an oopsie. So we returned it, got our money back, ordered the new piece, and then we did our testing and making sure we had everything on the box and everything like that, which took almost another 2 months to do. Make sure we had it absolutely fixed. So when we went there, and we also had to secure a place to put it into, which was the longest thing at the time. And I thank Klein for this. He's not here at the moment. I thank Klein for this, and I love him for this. One of the guys that he was working with when he was where he worked at previously knew a company, and he got in touch with them and got them to give us a code, and we got this code. And then they put the code on their website for people to use for a short time. And then website didn't have PayPal to pay with. And then the company was like, yeah, we'll add PayPal for you to pay with PayPal instead of card. And I was like, awesome. And we did all of that, and it was fine, put those together, and then he went and took it to Dallas and put it into our server box, or into the data center, which was awesome. So we had to work around Klein's schedule at the time. I do have somebody else who is near the location that I trust 100% to do the installs and to do the putting together and everything like that. So maybe it might be a month or so after we have the funds to put it together, do some testing. Again, 2 months maximum after that is my projection, but it could take a little longer based on when we have the funds and everything. But that's my force projection.
All right. Yeah, I was gonna say because there's actually I think 7 of us here now that lives in Dallas, and I live 3 minutes from the service centers there in downtown.
Yeah. And I appreciate everybody who would be willing to do things, and I love it.
Although if you fuck up, I'll do.
Yeah, that would be really bad. My biggest thing is giving somebody I'm not the people I do it, I trust it with, and the biggest concern to me to be I have to personally submit the ticket as the owner of the box, which they don't need to know that I own a big need or whatever. I own the account to pay the bill, so I have to submit a ticket to go, hey, somebody's going to show up to do something. And also, if I need to, if I really need to, and I can't find somebody nearby that I trust, and nothing against you or anybody like that, I could always put it together myself, email them, do the testing here, and then ship it to them, and then they can do the install service themselves instead of me walking in there and everything like that and hand delivering it. Which I live in Ohio. I'm not taking a flight all the way down there. I'm just going to mail it to them for them. That's too much money, and I'm not having any of you guys pay for it, and I don't have the money to do that. So. But I hope that answers that in its entirety, and no more questions. I think that'll be super awesome. I'd like to end this out on this real happy note. I'm not me in my speech. I've never always really been somebody that's like huge, get really amped up or anything like that. Last time I did it, I gave this really horrible speech. I can't paint, and it was like Then Silver was like rape and pillage, and he stole the floor from me. I don't like you, Silver. If you're in here for that, you stole my amazing speech that I did. That was terrible. But I want to leave this out on this really some note here, showcasing this. If you haven't seen this, please check this out. This video made me emotional. It's making me emotional now thinking about it. I won't talk about somebody else who made them emotional, but and the messages that I've been getting, and I know that other people are getting them too, about the support and the care that all of you guys like give to me and other people as well, here to make sure that we have this community and make it for you. And it's awesome to have that feedback, to know that so many people do care, and that so many people are supportive of everything. All right, thank you, Walsh. I will, man. Watch that, man. I get teary-eyed. I'm not even like listening to it yet. But with this, I want you to be awesome again. If you donate and everything like that, donate. And I want to take this. And if you have any other like questions about the unit or anything like that, I'd love to get some kind of fucking fun up going on. Like, if you have things you have to do, please go do the things you need to do. If you're doing UTC or trainings or anything like that, please, you may return to those. But I'd really like to do a fun op. And even though we said, we can't really pack that many people in the server, I don't care if we get 100 people in and we break the server. Let's break it 1,000 fucking times. I don't care.
Yeah, by the way, Jay was mentioning me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and
who made that video?
Yeah, and Husky did. Brittle apparently has the fun op already set up and ready to go. I think we should go do that and just totally
break the box.
Like test his skills as a Zeus.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah. Hopefully it's a map that I can actually connect to.
Riddle Cozus?
I dare.
Please, you in orange.
Riddle Cozus? Alright,
Alright, so we want to break it down to Skip, you're done with your topics?
And I'd like to thank Walsh again for another huge thing. He just donated another big one. And
welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Walsh. Hey, it's freaking living.
Walsh is going to be homeless by 2021.
Yeah. If you'd like to see Walsh be a Jedi in this fun op, please join it. Let's do this. Walsh, you better attend.
Yes, I will.
Alright, any other, before we break everything, guys, any other TSs, any questions relatively, whatever the hell, since everything Major's focus? Sergeant Major Drifter, you?
I just wanted to say that I am opening up my channel to answer questions to anybody in my platoon, but I also wanted to extend that to anybody that joined late. If you have any questions about the town hall, you can come down there and ask me as well.
Alright, Hoodoo, Sergeant?
Yes, thank you. And everyone that's been giving Husky so much love about his video, he's in my squad. I know he's in 3-4, so I thought it was a really awesome gesture that you guys shouted out his video, and I know he really appreciates the support.
What is it, a shout out, a rap video? Yeah, he made a video about the 501st. How wouldn't we have found it?
Yeah,
the point.
I'll be honest with you, as soon as it was uploaded, I got a message about it. Then I made the announcement, and then I shit you not, I get at least 30 messages from people like, Jay, oh my god, and I'm like, clearly you have. I know who has the announcements muted now.
Husky, I will point out though, I didn't see me or Jay in there. So.
But my counter to that is, it doesn't really matter about me and him. It's all about you guys in this video.
I matter. I'm fucking around, Husky. That was, like I said, Husky, that was a hell of a video. I won't say it made me shed a tear. I will say it was an emotional video. It was a hell of a video, good guy.
That means you cried, sir.
If I don't cry, I don't do that.
Put you in that video as much as you're on the server.
Yeah, Husky,
I'm in the server all the time. I just never in BC Bondor.
Right, exactly. So he represented you very well.
And Husky, I will say this. I have now have an addiction
Shut
to
up,
Zeros.
All right, who else we got to wrap up? Who else do we got to wrap up the PTS for the 100 of you sitting here? Zoro, is that your PTS?
Yeah, mine's quick. I already tracked it down, but it was more regarding Zeus. Is there any future meeting where I tracked it down? There's one on the 18th. And Bondo, you're welcome to try and sneak into my UTC class, or just appear as yourself.
You're welcome to never call me Bondo again, because I'm not your best friend in the whole wide world.
Ooh. Understood, sir.
There we go. Alright, Jesus, what do you think? I'm familiar with you now? What are you gonna start dating my sister, who I don't have?
I was gonna say, where's the line at for me for that?
The only person here that can date my non-existent
Better than my
sister
hand.
is the Major himself. He's the only one. And Scuba and Player, but only on Sundays.
No love for lava.
Alright, let's
I have platoon on Sundays.
yeah, let's
Wait, not anymore.
Alright, clear comms, let's wrap it up, boys, let's
next
wrap it up.
PTS here. Let's shoot through these and let's pile into the server.
Alright, what are we on, Slider?
Yeah, I just had a quick question touching on that video. I got here a little late, so I'm not sure if you covered this at all. But seeing content like that from people in the unit is always a good thing. Obviously, I can speak for many people here, just like myself, that most of us were drawn to this unit through videos on YouTube and other media. I myself don't have a whole lot of experience with it, but have we considered opening that department up to more people, as I feel part of this unit's longevity and recruitment process is seeing those things? Have we considered maybe making a 501st YouTube channel and putting everything together so that we can have multiple creators putting out quality media to further push the whole like recruiting system and getting more and more people to come to this unit?
Yeah, there's this amazing thing called the news team, and Momentum's there, and he can get you guys in it. You guys want to write articles?
Yeah,
Hello.
What?
I guess
that was something
my
we
question
talked
was a
about.
little bit more towards the
Yes.
digital media,
Yes.
because obviously most
Organic.
people seen videos on YouTube and were drawn to what they saw and then came here to join. So
Yes. That's something that they're going to do here. I think that Kanik right now you're recording. I think this is going to go on YouTube, right? On our we actually have a 501st thing. We haven't really used it because Forensic always did it, but we're going to end up taking that thing into ourselves, and we're going to definitely be looking into that more. Allowing, I think we're going to take the first steps to allowing the news team to, if they want to do videos and stuff for the news, and they can do their articles alongside them, upload those to the 501st channel. We're going to start uploading a lot more stuff onto our 501st channel and more recording.
wake
It's not going to be super professional, unless we have some people in there that volunteer their time and to come in to do those things, which we'd have to get those. But that's definitely something we want to look at, and everything like that. SA, if you have some, if you want to leave, man, go ahead, man.
If I could PTS real quick on that.
Yes.
You can type it. Oh, there you go. Go ahead.
So yeah, the news team is looking on doing like bringing in those more of that content. We do want to start seeing more of that stuff attached to the website and in each bi-weekly article. So expect to see that soon, TM. And if any of you guys would like to begin contributing that kind of content and or are interested in working with us on making more of that, please let Kanik or myself know. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, guys, I mean, make content if you're going to, but if you include my likelihood, you have to pay a tax, because my helmet, it's copyrighted, so just make
What
sure
is?
you understand that.
What?
My helmet, you gotta pay a tax.
Yeah. Alright, I had to go, yeah. Next PTS, if there was one. I lost track.
Yeah.
Odin? Okay.
Yeah. I have a question for either of the majors here. I think a lot of us are kind of wondering, is there any news on the potential promotion of Corporal Ghost to Sergeant?
Thank you.
Never going to happen. Fuck. If you mention it again, I will literally ban all of Upper Command.
Including himself, and the only person left to leave
I will literally, yes, I will literally commit seppuku. Like, it's gonna happen.
He can take my job.
If you motherfuckers try to promote that goddamn dog one more time.
you guys should have seen him when we promoted him with Corporal. Bondor came in like, what the fuck?
Because I thought he was a person and I didn't realize who it was. And then I realized after like 30 minutes of you guys laughing that it was Player's fucking dog. I hope Corporal, he's listening over there, because Ghost, fuck you.
Alright, go ahead. If I missed your PTS before, Tough, you can list it again. I
2021, I'm gonna wear that
No,
guy as a
it's-
hat.
I just put it down. Now that
There's a fighting word. There's a fighting word.
Wait. Now that Acklay is a company, can we have a dog?
But shut the fuck up.
I just want clear comms. I just want to point out you literally have an Acklay. Like you have a pet. Like and you wanna downgrade to a dog.
Can he have a rank?
No, you shut up. Go away, you're stupid.
Can we get George a brother?
You have a giant green spider thing. Shut up.
That's a lava.
And he started Sergeant Major.
No.
Can we get a second?
We're not
play?
promoting dogs or animals or anything. And it happens again and I get confused. I'm gonna kill everything.
Focus. Go ahead, man.
What about if Acklay got a rock?
Oh Christ.
You already have Ricochet.
He's not a boulder.
Oh my god. Man down.
It's a rock.
Alright, Jay.
Alright, continue on with the PTSs. Let's wrap this up before we have another escalade of laughter that hurts my ears so fucking
Alright, Loki,
much.
go ahead, man.
I don't know if I'm gonna be the final comment. I kind of hope I am. I just want to thank everyone here. When I first joined this unit, I was in the middle of ETSing out of the army. I was in one of the worst points of my life. Due to everyone here, I was able to overcome that, get into college, and now actually be able to support the 501st myself. So, thank everyone here, whether you be a recruit or up to Jay. Just thank you for making a welcoming community, and let's get this fun up going.
Yeah, please pile it up. There's only 36. I want 100.
Server 3.
You're gonna
Server 3.
All right, whoa. Only
Oh
if
my
we
God.
allow Major Bond over to RTO.
Yes.
Please, Major.
On a list of
Carnival's
things that are
addictive.
happening tonight.
Wow.
Other than that, let's get ourselves squared away. Just the last call since everyone was typing. If you didn't have anything else, throw out your last PTSs. Let's wrap this up. I'll be in my office to answer brief questions if you need to talk to me. If it's about the MPs, I swear to God, I'll cut your balls off.
And they approach you.
But wait, we weren't burning
That's how
with
that works. MPs approach you.
So, if you need anything, I'll be in my office. Any other last PTSs that you guys want to bring up before it happens, and we all go. And
Alright.
you know who you are that
Merchandise.
just messaged me and called me mate. If you ever call me that again, I will destroy. I will kill everyone in your squad.
We will
not.
attack you.
All right. So we're all good. All right.
Yep. All right. Again, for me as well, a big thank you to everybody here. It's been awesome being the commander of this unit, the owner, and every single one of us is a bit of the owner of here because we all make the experiences everybody else gets to have in this community. You guys make it what it is. From
Yeah.
You guys being here every single day, you guys make this community great. Not just me. It should be not you guys thanking me so much as it me thanking you guys for the hand that you guys play every single day here and the contributions that you guys make. So, thank you guys all. Please jump into a fun op. We have
Also,
big
make sure
plans
you
going.
thank me because I don't.
Yes.
I hate all of you.
Yes. And let's go into 2020 strong. We already are. Let's continue to do this. Let's get to 2021. Let's get to 2035 where Arma set in and they still suck dick because they don't like Star Wars. So let's just big middle finger to those motherfuckers there. And as soon as Arma 4 comes out, our Arma mod's gonna be ported over, and we're literally gonna break Arma 3 or Arma 4 and shove a stick up their ass. So let's go ahead and go do that.
Well, that was
Okay.
weird. Anyway, yeah, if you guys need
I really
anything, I'll be
like
down in my office. I'm only going to be there for like 10-15 minutes. I actually have to go to the store because I'm out of beer.
Alright, guys. All right, you guys are all excused.
What a shitty alcoholic.
All right,
Notice
Stallion dismissed. Get the
Thank
fuck
you.
out.
Misha.